Hi, everyone. How many of you would be interested in having free electricity for the rest of your lives? Okay, a lot of you. So if this was the Oprah show, underneath your chair, you'd all find a solar panel. But this is not Oprah, and this is not a talk about solar panels. So solar panels already give us free electricity, but I think that humans can do better. So let's imagine together a device that's like a solar panel, but much better. So this device would not need sunshine to make its electricity. It could be any shape or size. It would never wear out, and it would produce power constantly. I've been searching for this kind of a device for at least 20 years of my life, a true energy breakthrough. So let's imagine such a thing exists, and we can put it into our consumer devices. Everything would become cordless because it would have its own power supply built in. So imagine your mobile phone would never need to be recharged. Your laptop would always be on, and your electric vehicle would have unlimited mileage from the day that you bought it. How cool would that be? So everything you buy is more expensive because of fuel and energy costs. If these didn't exist, if energy was free, imagine how your cost of living would drop. Anything that was manufactured or transported locally or globally would become cheaper. Think about how much you'd save on food, clothing, heating, petrol. Imagine what we could do for our planet. If we could ditch fossil fuels completely, our air would be clean. With abundant energy, we could afford to do recycling properly. We could uplift the poor by electrifying remote villages, and we could desalinate as much water as we needed and make our deserts green again. Imagine what humans could do and where they could explore with an unlimited gas tank and the ability to live comfortably off-grid anywhere in the world. Also, by radically decentralizing power itself, think about how little control our government and the 1% would have over our lives. We would be free. Okay, so I hope I've inspired you a bit, but it's slide number 7, so I'd better touch base with reality and show you this is actually possible. So what I'm going to show you next are 3 new energy devices that were recently published in top-rated science journals. They all pull electricity literally out of thin air. The outputs are small for now, but these devices can be stacked and multiplied. So the first device is called the AirGen, clever name. This was discovered by Professor Yao at the University of Massachusetts and published in Nature in 2020. So this promising device creates electricity by using a semi-porous membrane made of protein nanowires. Water vapor settles across this membrane and produces an electrical gradient. This second device was discovered by Paul Thabado at the University of Arkansas and published in Physical Review E in 2023. This device harvests the ambient heat energy by rectifying the wave-like motion of single-layer graphene sheets and then charging up capacitors. It may seem to violate the first and second law of thermodynamics, but it doesn't. Don't worry, physicists. The third device is biologically inspired. It's an enzyme called HUC. So what HUC does is it pulls hydrogen literally out of thin air, and then it kind of rips the electrons off hydrogen, and you can power circuits with that. So yeah, these devices may or may not end up being commercialized, but I know that hundreds of talented and optimistic engineers are working on the very same goal of finding this ultimate new energy source. So that's why I started the breakthroughenergyproject.org, to find these inventors, evaluate their technology, and then get it out to the world. So here's my plan to make it happen. Some of you think I'm insane. So one thing I know for sure is that people are motivated by money. If you offer a prize big enough, people are willing to try almost anything for a chance to win. So you can make what's called a science challenge prize. The most famous of these was the Ansari X Prize, where they offered $10 million to build a reusable spacecraft, and that dude won it in 2004. Science challenge prizes combine an impossible goal plus a big pot of money. They're great because only if the goal is achieved does the prize actually get awarded. Unlike traditional funding, you only fund success. Also, by announcing a big prize, talented folks tend to find you, which is useful for recruitment. Crazy people also find you. Okay. So if we find this great new technology, we need to get it out to the world. I'm not interested in making money from this project. I'm not going to rush to the patent office and try and patent this thing. I don't want to control or limit the spread of this info. I would prefer that this new energy revolution explode around the planet at the speed of light, or at least as fast as a singing cat video from the Kifness. So my plan is to immediately put the full schematics and instructions for this device on the open web so that anyone could download it and make it for themselves. The tech would be developed and improved faster by being completely open source. So think about individuals, small groups, universities, mass manufacturers, all collaborating to bring this thing out. Okay, so there are 2 hurdles to my plan. Hurdle number 1 is entrenched oil interests. Oil and gas earned $4 trillion in profits last year. That's trillion with a T. It's reasonable to suspect that these people would not be keen on me succeeding, and they might try to stop my project from developing a replacement for them. Hurdle number 2 is I don't have $10 million. I'm not Oprah, unfortunately. How can I fund this project if its goals are for the benefit of the world? They're kind of completely altruistic. There's no ROI for the investors. There's billions of dollars available for mundane science, like how do we make worms live longer on protein diets. But however, less funding goes towards truly disruptive stuff. So I'm excited to run this project, but I haven't thought through everything. That's why I'm here tonight. If you guys have any ideas for me, I'm very keen to hear from you. In terms of funding, I'm thinking about crowdfunding or selling NFTs or maybe stalking Richard Branson, if anyone knows him. Yeah. Okay, I've got 40 seconds left. For a moment, imagine we have succeeded. So on the table in front of you now sits a little box with a bulb sticking out of it, burning brightly. That bulb will glow whether you're rich or poor, young or old, well-behaved or rebellious. It doesn't care. That bulb will warm you forever. For me, that light would be a spiritual experience because it would be a physical manifestation of unconditional love. And I think that's something that everyone should see. So if you're interested in my goal, please come find me in the break. If you work for an oil company, please don't murder me. My name is Evan Robinson, and this is the Breakthrough Energy Project. Thank you.